Hello, everyone. May 22nd. What do you do on a Sunday when the yard's mowed and you don't want to go to the garden? I'm going to try to do this video because I know I can. And if I keep making them often enough, what do you think? The new me. Well, let's see if we can switch cameras and talk about Flatware. Switch cameras. And by Joe, I think I have it, except I didn't go in and optimize. Optimize, share sound, optimize for video clip, share. Video thumbnail has been minimized. But I'd like to see something on the screen. So where am I? There I am. All right, let's try this again. Switch cameras. I don't see my little green thing. Am I recording? Yep, I'm recording, but I don't think I'm getting anything. This is from about 1950. That part is stainless steel, says so. This part is silver because it's a knife. It's stuck in right here. To give it a little weight, I think it's plaster Paris inside. So the reason that I'm doing this is I had a question about should I sell my silverware? And this takes me on my journey of why I've had these. My silver plated came from my great aunt. And I have a number of different patterns that I've collected over the years. This one has been tested in the past. So it is silver. And if you take it to a dealer, see if I can get my finger out of this, see if this works better. That's the pattern. So what they do on these is they take a hammer and start beating right here. This part comes out, which they junk out. And then this pot, after it's clean, goes in the smelter. If I remember right, back in the 50s, people used to collect these with coupons. You'd get a coupon on a box of cereal or something. And if you bought one for $1, you might get an extra one for free. And so the only way to really know how much silver is in this, it says 925. You would have to beat this up. Now, the reason people quit using silver because it felt like they had to polish it. And if you have a good chest, and I may show you a picture of this in a little bit, they're called non-tarnish. So if I was to sell these, which I was asked to do that once, excuse me while I come back. Let me find a matching set. Well, let's just do knives for today. This is a different pattern. And people do collect the patterns. And as many of you know, my great uncle tried to teach me about this stuff. He had a pawn shop. And so there for a while, when I would travel to Amish country or when I was going to college, I'd stop at little country stores and I would try to build a set. Here's another pattern. Once again, the blade, I don't know if you can see it. If I remember right, most of these are, now that I'm doing the video, I can't think of the name. Well, I'll probably have to do this one over anyway. Now, I went to my man in the know and asked him what he would give me for this. First thing he said is they're not making it anymore. And he encouraged me not to sell it. Now this one here has got some markings on it. It's called South Sea. I don't know how well some of you will be watching this on a big screen TV. But I have 3 of these that I've found at different locations. And they haven't polished this one lately. Or that's crud, I don't know. This is Community South Sea style. I always like these things. So you can't see me. I'll have to switch cameras to show you before we get off. I'll let you do some. Oh, here we go. It's the Rogers Company, patent pending. This is a plated fork. And I've done the history on this one. Along about 1948. This is plated silver over copper. And I don't seem to have it in this collection. But the reason I know that, when the love of my life decided she had a new love, she'd always been making fun of me I'm going to talk about this in particular right here. And so, you probably think I'm mean for this, but since she laughed at me for collecting, I told her it was all just nickel-plated stainless steel. And so I came home one day, just before she left, and she had one of my good spoons in the garbage disposal. And the only good part of the story was she was grinding it up to see if it was all silver or not. And then she was going to run off with the whole box, I guess. Now, this here is Indian silver. And it has these stamps on it. So I believe back after World War II, a lot of the Indian silver may or may not have had silver in them. Silver is easier to work than nickel. But the thing that I found interesting on this, and by the way, I got this for like 50 cents back in the day, but I noticed those. And this one here says Rogers Company. And they really quit making real silver flatware after the Civil War. The one in the United States, remember? Does have this little mark here. And Froggy had emailed me. She had some questions. I think she had the high-end stuff. I'll put a picture on my YouTube if you can read it. So if I was going to sell these, I would match up all my designs. And I don't know, I have about 50 pounds of this stuff. But after I saw somebody who said they had a big bag of old silver. I think that one needs light. And the guy wanted to sell it. I think what he should have done is he should have come in and said, I need an appraisal. But instead, I watched him take all the silver flatware, real silver, and he just started banging it apart because a lot of it has that plaster of Paris and different things in there to give it weight. You can tell this was one of my favorites. Once again, most people only use the real silver plated. Nobody knew. At Thanksgiving and Christmas, you probably shouldn't put it away. But there's nothing like eating a bowl of ice cream with a silver plated spoon. Now let's get back to even at the time. Now these are from the, see now this one does not say Indian silver. but it's got all the markings. So that one that right there on the shadow, that one, I think that's an English mint. Each one of these, and if you look on the side here, you can see where the silver has come off. But what is underneath it almost looks like it's brass. So this one would date back to about World War I. But if you notice, they look exactly alike, except even the markings are the same. Except one says Indian silver, and one says nothing. So even if they are just brass, a little tarnished, you would be too if you were 120 years old. What else do I have in that bag? This one is marked W. Rogers 12. Once again, it kind of matches them others. From old movies I've seen, this one is the same. Rogers. And I thought I had a buy here because it had all these numbers. You know, I only paid like 50 cents for these back in the 70s. College students, unless their parents were rich, always shopped at thrift stores. Now, why am I going through all of this? It's all Froggy's fault. Now, this is something I did come up with, I don't know, about 2 years ago. And although it's a long blade used for carving chickens and turkeys, it has another design on it. Once again, the blade is stainless steel. They didn't Silver just did not make very good knife blades. They were too soft. Now here is an old spoon. You would call them tablespoons. That again is from about World War I, but it doesn't have the stamping on it. It just has Rogers Company on it. But it's been well used. So before I bore you all to death, which I could, let me see what I want to do here. Let's see. So, at the thrift shop a few years ago, I found a carving fork which says stainless. But because of the design and what I already have, I know this is silver. And inside is the plaster Paris that holds it all together, and then there's a crimp right there. So I was watching this destruction of the past at that guy's shop. He just took a hammer and smashed it there and yanked that off and tapped all the stuff in here that gives its weight. And here's the point of the story. And then here was a serving fork. And I guess says Rogers Company. And I did bring out of my collections some real stuff, and if I get any response to this video, I'll talk about it. See what else I got in here. This thing weighs, I don't know, probably 75 pounds, including the box. So you can look these designs up if you're collecting. It's another one of those butter knives. I don't know what I did with the other one. I'm probably using it. And of course, I still like these. Once ago, again, probably from the 40s. If you can see that or not. Still don't have the proper setup. But I'm not picky. And if you were still watching after this length of time, you're not picky either. Now these, I found 4 of these a while back. And they were probably from the 60s or 70s. But you know what I liked about these? Besides they were 50 cents a piece. Here's that Rogers mark. They've not been used much at all. And you know what they're for? It's that little serrated. It's a grapefruit spoon. And I got 4 of them. Well, I'm about done with my show and tell. So if you want to see the real good stuff, here it is. I think it's a pie server. A little baby pie server. And on the back of it, it says 0.950, which means it probably came from Mexico and that it's handmade. And then it's got something else there that I thought sure this would pick it up, but isn't that kind of cute? Looks like an uprising. Can't tell everything that's going on. And I picked this up at a coin auction. And yeah, I paid a little too much for it. I think I paid $25. But they sold it based on the silver content, not the antique value. And of course, I wasn't inclined to educate them at the time. Imagine that. Now I'm going to see if I can switch cameras. And there I am. And here is all my plated, not all. I got like 5 boxes of these. And don't ask me why. I just started collecting. And you know how collectors are. I still think these are pretty cool. Both of them $1. No, you can't have them for $1. But this is pretty cool. Little pie server. Probably stamped by an individual, which means it's still handmade. Well, folks, what else have I got going here? This is my torque that I got from Roberta. Came with a amber pendant. I've got quite a few pendants because I collect stones, cabochons. This is one. You can see I have not polished it. It's a little bent, but worked the other way. Oh, and it fits like that. Then you hang your little thing, your pendant on it. And of course, I still have my white buffalo necklace that I offered up for sale. And then it's also on a separate chain has that K2 Dolomite granite. And here's about the smallest cameo I have seen in my entire life. I don't know if you can see it or not. That came from a coin auction. Oh. And I have two itty bitty these are the 999 silver. It's got the picture of the guy panning for gold. I picked these up not so much that they were a good buy, but they'd make nice pair of earrings. They're thinner than a dime. They're lightweight, but they're all silver. And I never opened this one. It's 2018 Canada. I ordered it when Shiloh passed away in 2018. 2018 was the year of the dog. That's when he passed. And it was the year of the dog when he was born. Can't even find them hardly now because there's a limited edition. So I will keep that. What else I got in here? There's an old coin. Take a necklace on it. I'd take them out of here, but they get tarnished. And you all have my email address if you need it. Oh, I found something else here. And I'll probably keep this one. It's sterling. But what I like about it, even though it's not marked, it's a Celtic cross. What else I got here? Well, these are some different chains that I picked up at coin auctions. One of these days, when I don't have to mow the grass or weed the garden, I'll get all this organized. Now this one, I have decided to keep. I sold one similar that I really liked, but that's a widow's mite in there. It's sterling silver. Widow mites come from around 200 AD. When you'd pass away, they'd put two coins over your eyes. That wasn't to say they're dead, might have been, but that was to pay for their burial. I also got this one for Shiloh. It's got some Chinese on it, so 2018. Ounce of 999 silver. So see, I'm a different type of coin collector. And here's 0.9999. That's our capital here in Missouri, Jefferson City. This is our state seal. It says 1965. I used to have one just like this in copper. May still have it. I don't know. I haven't seen it lately. There's some more silver chains. These are high-end silver chains. And I had something in here, but I put it away so I wouldn't lose it. You ever do that? And then I picked this up. This has been cast. I'm trying to figure out a way to, without destroying it, turn it into a Viking pendant. Let's go Viking. Oh, and I got this from Roberta. She told me it was a violin. It's not, it's a cello. And so with that, before I get myself in trouble, I'm going to say thank you, good day, and I hope this video turns out all right. I know it's daytime. I don't have a dimmer on that light. But I'm still learning. Don't give up on me. All right. Let's see. End.